So this is going to be episode 2 of the Spring Bear series, and today we're talking about location. So I'm just going to talk about what to look for, certain signs to look for, geographical areas for setting up your bait site for bears. It'll be pretty straightforward, but I'm going to take my barrel out there today. I'm not baiting today, but I'm going to bring the barrel out anyways, so that much is out there, so I don't have too much to bring out next time. Alright, let's get going. Well, it looks like this old logging road got washed out over the winter. Pretty bad, actually. And I gotta go that way. Someone was nice enough to put a log across and mark it, so nobody got hurt. Bless that soul. Yeah, we'll make this work. We just got a bit of a trek through the woods, and we'll be at my last year's site. Gonna check it out, make sure everything's good to go, make sure my my platform in the tree and everything is all good to go. Doesn't need any repairs, and then I'll scout out the area, show you guys kind of how where I'm set up, and the signs and stuff that led me to this spot particularly. So let's do that. The trees came down over the winter by the looks of it. Now, take a look around me. See how this is? There's low canopy. That's what they prefer. That's what black bears prefer. A lower canopy. The downside is that a low canopy don't allow for really good shooting. So you want to be in an area with a low canopy that opens up in a specific area, and that's where you want to bait. So as you can look around, now it's opened up. Just because this red pine, there's a lot of these really tall red pine trees, if you see them. So the canopy is up a lot higher here, which is a good thing. I end up making this thing up here where we can have lots of room and just hide out up there and hang out until the bear comes in. So now you'll see, if I pan this way, this is the shooting lane. It's all opened up, and you are not allowed to cut down trees here in New Brunswick to make a shooting lane, but all these trees naturally fell from the winds. So my bait barrel goes right in over there. right here. This is the tree I will set my bait barrel up on. And this is my shooting lane, right here. As I mentioned before, you want to have low canopy. You got to remember, black bears, even the biggest black bear, their world is this high. They spend most of their time on all fours, walking around. So they're about 3.5 feet off the ground is as big as you're going to get. So when you're squat down in this position, this is what a bear sees. And bears like to have canopy. They like to have cover for many reasons. But it doesn't, this, you know, if you're in the thickest parts of the woods, you're not going to get good shots off. So you want to be in some thick woods, but find an opening that opens up. And the number one thing you're looking for is not even fecal matter, because you can bring bears in if you're baiting, right? You can send a sense out and bring the bears in. I know there's fecal matter. There's bear poop in this area. I know it because that is bear feces. Yeah, that's bear feces for sure. However, the number one thing you need to look for, despite everything else, is a water source. When bears wake up from the winter and they're coming out of their dens and they're moving around, as soon as they come out of the hills, they're looking for water sources. They need to stay hydrated, and as the temperatures rise and they're putting on their fat and starting to pack stuff on, their temperature starts to rise, they need to stay cool. So in the peaks of the day, they're going to want to be able to get up in the morning or in the evenings, do their feasting, and then go to a water source. Drink their water, bathe in the water, keep cool, stuff like that. That's where I'm going to show you this area here and why I chose this area in particular. Google Maps is a wonderful tool. You can go on, look online, get a good feel out, and then get out on the ATVs or whatever and test it out and see if it suits your needs. So for this area here, there's not a lot of traffic. It's down a few old logging roads and then a hike through the woods a bit. What I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to set the drone up. On this side of me, there's like well, basically all around this side, there's like a horseshoe of water, and there's a couple beaver dams on either side, and that's where the main traffic is coming back and forth for these bears. They actually walk right across the beaver dams to get here, but they know there's a food source and there's a water source close by, and they got everything they need here. A lot of heavy cover, and so this is a prime spot. Water. You need to bait around water. Have to. In the spring especially. In the fall, it's still very important, but in the fall they're moving around, getting ready for dens and everything else in breeding season, so they move, they're more mobile. But in the spring, bears that come in this area, for the most part, are going to stay in this area because there's a water source close by. And I'll show you what I was talking about with the oh, I'm off trail just a little bit. You can see the game trail here where it's all beat down. Might be hard to tell on the camera. You can see it's all beat down here. And it goes right through here and across here. And that's the Beaver Dam. The old Beaver Dam goes all the way across. And this water source does not dry up in the fall. It's a spring, so it's always wet here. There's always some amount of water. On the other side where it's just mostly like a bog, that dries up, but this doesn't. So there's always a water source in this area. So this is a prime spot. Get the barrel set up. It's just strapped on. Some people chain it on, but I've never had an issue with just these straps. No problem. But just to recap, you're looking for signs, overturned logs, claw marks on trees, fecal matter. Those are things that are quite obvious that bears in the area. But more than anything, cover and water. They need a water source, especially for spring bear. Those things are really important. If there's not bears in your vicinity, like directly, you can bring them in with good baiting techniques, and we'll touch on that in the next episode. But make sure you have water. They need to have water. I'm driving that home. I've said it multiple times because that is by far the most important thing, is the water. So, rude, huh? Rude.